Hello everyone, my name is Steed, and welcome to Steed Plays, a channel where I narrate scary stories. This story is called Dead Mall Security. Let's begin. The mall I work at is on its last leg. It only has one major retailer open. It used to have four. All the center hallway kiosks are closed. Most other shops are closed too. Except that odd mattress store that seems immune to economic conditions. Most small food chains have already abandoned the food court. Half the time they don't even turn on all the lights to save electricity. The most customers the mall sees are the stray wanderer from events in the large parking lot. Like the carnival that times itself perfectly for when school closes for the summer, or the odd farmer's market. My name is Isaac. I started working at this dime mall because I too was on my last leg. After my time in the service, I had a hard time marketing my skills, which were basically showing up on time in uniform. I was just about average when I was in, middle of the road in my weapons qualifications and physical fitness. After 6 years, I got tired of the military life and thought I could make a better living or have a better time in the private sector. However, after getting ghosted by over 50 job applications and 8 interviews, I started to get desperate. I was on my way home after one such interview. I could tell by now I wasn't going to get a call back. And that's when nature called. I saw a common large bookstore chain and, well, I blew it up. Inside the stall was a newspaper rack. I was kind of bored, so I grabbed one and browsed, feeling like a 1950s detective. Then I saw a peculiar ad. In bold text it said, "Can you be on time in uniform?" There was a generic picture of a security guard and a number with the words, "We're hiring." I saved the number and went to my car to give it a call. The phone rang once before an automated sound recording of a woman spoke.
Hello, thank you for calling.
Ronnie's security agency.
We need to talk with you soon, as all our representatives are currently busy.
I thought to myself, is this a voicemail? As soon as that thought formed in my mind, the line picked up.
This is Ronnie's security agency. Who am I talking to?
Ronnie sounded like an old-timey villain. The kind of guy who would say something like, "Oh, wise guy, huh?" He sounded like a man who had been in security a long time, or had fought in his fair share of fights. I answered, "Hi, this is Isaac. I saw your ad in the paper for security guard." I then realized the ad never said what the job was, only, "Can you be on time in uniform?"
Oh, right. What makes you think you's cut out to be a security guard for Ronnie, huh?
I served 6 years in the...
Perfect. I'll have our day guard meet you tomorrow, 7 o'clock sharp.
Oh, where do I...
Of course. Sorry. Meet the day guard Cliff at the North Compass Mall. He'll be near the entrance. We have a little office.
Sounds good, what do I...
Just bring yourself, an ID, and your lunch. You're starting tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
Right, how much would I be...
How much do you need?
I thought about it quickly, trying to remember a market rate for a security guard. I was fighting a too-good-to-be-true feeling, as well as the numbers running in my head for how much I would actually need. I felt my stomach rumble a bit with hunger. I looked at the dash of my car. Fuel was down to a quarter tank. I looked out the window to my left. Gas was $5.72. 35 and a half.
Done. And thank you for your service. 7 o'clock, Isaac.
Now I know what you're thinking. This is a trap. It's a scam. Don't go there. But a man's gotta eat. I drove home and tried my best to stay up late and wake up late to adjust my sleep schedule for this impromptu night shift. I looked up the mall online and I felt slight relief when it showed it was in an area that wasn't just out in the middle of nowhere in some forest or something. It was in a typical commerce area with other shops and restaurants across the street. There was even a car dealership. I drove there an hour early to case the perimeter. I probably looked a little suspicious as I drove slowly around looking at everything, even if it wasn't 6 p.m. There were maybe 10 cars in total. Some looked abandoned. The rest of the massive parking lot was empty. This place must have been popular at one point, I thought. It was sad to see what could have been the local area's childhood memories fading into neglect. I parked my car near the front entrance and walked inside. The layout of the mall was a long corridor intersected by 3 small corridors, one in the middle and one at each end of the hallway. The design inside and out was typical of a mall from the early 2000s or even the 90s. In the center of it all was a large fountain. It stood dusty and dry, and stained from where water once was. A few coins lay at the bottom. I walked up and down the mall, peering into each shop that was still open. Somehow, each one had at least 2 workers inside, shuffling what little stock they had or just playing on their phones. Almost every window had a big sale sign, up to 70% off. I made my way to the food court. It was a little dim. Half the lights were off. Most of the food stalls were closed or empty. I saw a small coffee shop. It was one of the few places with lights on. It was called I Have Coffee. I had some cash in my pocket and thought to myself, if I'm going to be up all night, I could use a pick-me-up. I was, after all, hopefully about to be in the realm of the gainfully employed. Well, at least for as long as this mall had left. I did see news that the mall was selected for a revitalization project, where they plan to add a theater, and maybe even some housing in the parking lots. This news did very little for the mall, however. As I walked up to the coffee shop, I locked eyes with the barista. She had dark hair that came down past her shoulders, dark eyes, and a light complexion. She was pretty cute, I thought. She looked a little shocked to see me, but quickly regained her composure.
Hi, welcome to I Have Coffee. What can I get started for you?
I looked at the menu. It had 8 different coffees listed simply as coffee number 1 through 8. There's no description. I was probably visually confused, thinking, what number should I choose? If it's called I Have Coffee, is it yours or mine? After a little too long, I said, your coffee number 1?
Yes, it is, sir.
She said with an even bigger smile now. I watched as she disappeared into the back of the stall out of sight. I heard lots of valves and noises not all connected to making a cup of coffee. I even heard her shoes squeak against the tile, like she was playing basketball or something back there. After a little longer and more odd noises, she came back with a cup of coffee.
Your coffee number 1, sir.
So it is my coffee, I thought. And now I have coffee. Thank you. So is it usually this busy? I said as I looked around.
No, you're probably the only customer I've seen in weeks that doesn't already work here.
Now it made sense why she looked so shocked. I see. Well, I'm actually here to try and be the new night guard for the mall.
Oh, for Ronnie?
Yeah, have you ever met him?
No, but I have met Cliff.
She smiled as if remembering a pleasant memory. I said, oh, I'm supposed to meet him at 7 p.m.
I'm off at 7.
She said, looking at the menu on the counter. Tragic, I thought. Maybe this would be the only time we see each other. Then she said,
Wait, you're here for the night shift?
yeah, it's gonna be a long first night.
You might be the 3rd night guard I've met here.
She then tried to act like she didn't say it. But it got me thinking. That's odd. Whatever pay I wanted, hired right away to a dying mall. No one seemed to know who Ronnie is. Well, a man's gotta eat. I looked at my watch. 6:50 p.m. I said, how much do I owe you for the coffee?
$5.72, sir.
Funny. I paid in cash. She handed me my change and said,
What's funny?
oh, nothing. I dropped my change in her barren tip jar and made my way to the front of the mall. She watched me as I left. I tried to look as broad and as tall as possible. Couldn't hurt my chances, I thought. But as I rounded the corner to the main front hallway, I looked back at her. She was still staring, but wasn't smiling anymore. She had a sort of sad, pitiful look on her face. Like she had just saw a sick animal in the forest and had that kinda, I wish I could help you, but I can't kind of look. It made me feel a little uneasy. I then saw the neon sign by the entrance. It read, Ronnie's Security Agency. I made my way and opened the door at 7 o'clock sharp. Cliff was sitting inside at the desk facing the door. He had his feet up on the desk and his chair tilted back, and he was reading a book. The book was How to Live with an Extremely Large Penis. Then he slammed the book shut, threw it in the first drawer, and locked it away while bringing his feet down and sitting properly. I entered fully, and he stood up and reached out a hand to shake mine. Cliff was 6'4" and full of muscle, with golden blonde hair parted messily to the side. He had piercing blue eyes and a jawline like a sledgehammer. No wonder the barista knew who he was. Seemed to have it all. He grabbed my hand and shook it.
I'm Cliff. You must be Isaac. Ronnie told me you were coming.
Yeah, I pulled out my resume a little awkwardly.
Oh, no need. You're already hired. As soon as Ronnie knew you were prior military, he knew you'd be a perfect fit for the job.
How kind of him. I said it a little sarcastically and instantly regretted it. I was thinking, oh man, had I made a huge blunder? Why would I say that? Cliff looked at me.
He's not too bad.
Have you met him?
Nope. Like you, I just showed up and got trained.
So, my shift starts at 7 p.m. each day?
Yep. We have uniforms in the back. That should be one that fits you. Whoa. We also have a little washing machine and dryer, so they're all clean, too.
Okay, so how do I get paid? We spent the next 30 minutes going over benefits, filing tax forms, and setting up direct deposit for pay. The benefits are actually pretty good. There was even a generous life insurance policy. I stopped writing mid-form and looked at Cliff. Man, you guys, honestly, am I getting punked, Cliff?
Punked?
You know, pranked. Is there a camera somewhere? Is this all an elaborate joke?
I know how you feel. I felt the same way. It really is all legit. But the night shifts here can be odd.
There it is, I thought. The catch. Odd? I pressed him.
Nice in this mall can be pretty dull. But there are rumors and a bit of a reputation with it.
What kind of rumors?
Well, some people think the mall is haunted. We just have 3 night shift guards go missing too. And that's why we're willing to hire you right away and pay you whatever rate you wanted.
I started thinking to myself, and I realized that if 3 people had gone missing in the same place and people around here knew about it, a 4th wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination. And no one wanted to be the next guy on the milk carton. But Cliff continued.
I don't know the circumstances of their lives outside of work. So it's possible they were all running away from something. But rumor has it the mall is haunted. I've been here for a few years now, and I haven't witnessed anything spooky. Aside from maybe a drunk guy or a homeless guy or both.
Cliff started to look a little frustrated.
This mall is dying. Maybe they found new work and left the same way they started. Suddenly.
In that moment, I drank my coffee. It was fantastic. Like a warm bed on a cold fall night. I couldn't get enough of it. I felt renewed, refreshed, relaxed. Cliff noticed.
Is that your coffee number 1?
Yeah, it's amazing. She really should have some more customers or stores or something. This is something else.
I like number 7 personally, but 1 is great.
Why would anyone want to quit this job at coffee like this, huh?
No idea. Doesn't make sense at all.
Cliff outstretched his arms to match what he was saying.
Anyway, You'll be here till around 3 a.m. During the night, you'll have to complete some security checks.
He passed me a map with blue dots and a small scanner.
Your job is to periodically roam the mall to all these points and scan the associated barcodes for our security lots. I usually do mine every 2 hours.
He then passed me a nightstick, a flashlight, and a walkie-talkie.
If you need any help or have any questions during shift, you can always radio HQ. The radio signal comes here and is rebroadcasted to the main office. HQ is staffed 24/7. And someone will always answer.
To be continued. Alright, that was part 1 of Dead Mall Security. Thank you everybody for listening. Tune in next time for part 2, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.